Before you give up on her, learn 10 powerful life lessons. Life and relationships are not always easy. There are moments of joy, but also challenges that test our patience, understanding, and resilience. Today, we explore timeless wisdom that has the power to transform the way we approach difficulties in our relationships. By embracing Stoic principles, we learn to remain grounded, calm, and compassionate, even in the face of adversity. Whether you're feeling hurt, misunderstood, or at a crossroads, the lessons shared here will empower you to rise above, grow stronger, and build deeper, more meaningful connections. Stay with me till the end, and let this wisdom guide your journey. Number 1. Understand what you can control. One of the foundational teachings of Stoicism is the understanding that we cannot control external events or the actions of others. In relationships, this principle is especially important. When we find ourselves frustrated or hurt, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we can somehow change the other person's behavior or emotions. However, the Stoic response is to recognize that our power lies not in controlling others, but in controlling our own responses. In a relationship, whether it's romantic, familial, or friendly, you may face situations where the other person's behavior challenges you. You might feel ignored, misunderstood, or unappreciated. The Stoic perspective helps you realize that while you can't directly change how she feels or acts, you always have the ability to control your own actions, thoughts, and reactions. When you focus on what you can control, you empower yourself. You recognize that your emotional responses, decisions, and perspectives are within your control. If you are feeling hurt, frustrated, or confused, you have the choice to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. You can choose to reflect on your feelings, communicate calmly, or take time to understand her perspective. Rather than reacting out of anger or fear, you can take control of your actions and emotions, ensuring that your responses align with your values and goals. By focusing on what you can control, you also free yourself from unnecessary suffering. The Stoic belief is that we only suffer when we try to control things outside our power. The key to peace and clarity is to acknowledge the difference between what is within your grasp and what is not, and to let go of the rest. This mindset leads to greater emotional resilience and allows you to navigate the ups and downs of relationships with composure. Number 2. Embrace patience. Patience is a central virtue in Stoic philosophy, especially when navigating relationships. When we face challenges or misunderstandings with someone, it's easy to become impatient, desiring quick resolution or a change in their behavior. However, Stoicism teaches us that the pace of life and relationships cannot be rushed, and that true growth often requires time. In relationships, it is important to recognize that every person has their own internal struggles, beliefs, and emotional rhythms. Just as you are evolving, so is she. Expecting immediate change or wanting things to unfold exactly as you wish often leads to frustration. Patience teaches us to trust the natural course of events rather than forcing an outcome. When you embrace patience, you give yourself space to reflect, grow, and allow the relationship to develop at its own pace. Stoicism encourages us to accept that we can't rush life or force things to happen according to our timeline. Instead, we learn to adapt, adjust, and meet life as it unfolds. In moments of difficulty, practicing patience gives us the time to think clearly, act wisely, and avoid making rash decisions that we might later regret. Patience also fosters deeper understanding. Instead of reacting out of impatience, you give both yourself and her the time to understand the underlying causes of any conflicts or disconnects. You approach each situation with a calm, composed mind, allowing you to be more present and compassionate. Through patience, you not only create space for healing and growth, but also demonstrate a strong, calm presence that strengthens the relationship over time. By embracing patience, you align yourself with the Stoic ideal of responding thoughtfully, not impulsively, and learning to trust the process of growth and understanding. Number 3, value inner strength. One of the most important lessons in Stoic philosophy is the cultivation of inner strength, which allows us to remain grounded and composed regardless of external circumstances. In relationships, particularly when facing challenges or moments of doubt, inner strength is essential for maintaining emotional stability and resilience. When facing difficulties, such as feeling disconnected or misunderstood, it is easy to let our emotions take over. We might feel tempted to react out of frustration, hurt, or anger. However, Stoicism encourages us to develop the strength to pause, reflect, and choose how we respond. This inner strength comes from understanding that our emotions do not define us. It's our actions, guided by reason, that truly shape our character. The ability to tap into inner strength means not being swayed by the turbulence of external events. In a relationship, this could look like resisting the impulse to react to hurtful words or actions with defensiveness or aggression. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and thoughtful, approaching challenges with clear reasoning and emotional control. Inner strength is about recognizing that challenges are opportunities for growth. Every difficulty in a relationship, whether it's a disagreement, distance, or frustration, provides us with a chance to become more resilient, patient, and understanding. Instead of seeing adversity as a setback, we can view it as a test of our character and an opportunity to strengthen our resolve. By valuing and cultivating inner strength, we learn to navigate emotional challenges with wisdom and grace. We come to understand that our true power lies not in controlling others or changing external circumstances, but in mastering ourselves. This inner strength empowers us to respond to difficulties with composure, maintaining our peace and well-being no matter what challenges arise. Number 4, focus on self-improvement. In Stoic philosophy, one of the most powerful practices is focusing on self-improvement, especially when faced with challenging moments in relationships. Instead of fixating on what the other person is doing or not doing, Stoicism teaches us to look inward and focus on our own growth. The idea is to invest our energy in becoming the best version of ourselves, which ultimately benefits both us and our relationships. When things are difficult, such as when you're tempted to give up on someone, it's easy to get caught up in pointing out their flaws or wishing they would change. However, Stoicism urges us to shift our attention to our own behaviors, thoughts, and actions. By asking ourselves how we can improve or what we can learn from the situation, we take ownership of our personal development. Self-improvement isn't just about acquiring new skills or knowledge. It's also about cultivating virtues such as patience, wisdom, empathy, and emotional resilience. Focusing on self-improvement in the context of a relationship means reflecting on how we can contribute positively to the dynamic. Are we communicating effectively? Are we being compassionate and understanding? Are we letting our emotions dictate our responses, or are we acting with clarity and thoughtfulness? By continually refining ourselves, we become better partners, friends, and individuals. Focusing on self-improvement helps us reduce the dependency on external validation. Our self-worth no longer hinges on how others treat us, but on our ongoing commitment to growth. This shift in perspective empowers us to approach challenges with an open mind and an unwavering commitment to becoming better, regardless of what happens with others. The pursuit of self-improvement makes us stronger, more centered, and more capable of facing any difficulty with wisdom and grace. Number 5. Accept impermanence. One of the key teachings in Stoicism is the understanding and acceptance of impermanence. Life, and particularly relationships, are in a constant state of flux. People change, situations evolve, and emotions shift. Recognizing this truth can help us avoid clinging too tightly to any one moment or outcome, especially during difficult times in a relationship. In the context of relationships, we often face moments of tension, confusion, or distance. These moments can feel overwhelming, and it may seem like things will never improve. However, Stoicism teaches us that all things, including the challenges we face, are temporary. The frustration, sadness, or disconnection we may feel in the present moment is not permanent. It's just a phase, much like all the good times we experience. By embracing this understanding, we allow ourselves to maintain peace in the face of adversity. We can acknowledge that while things might not be ideal now, they will not remain this way forever. Accepting impermanence also frees us from the anxiety of trying to control outcomes or the future. When we recognize that nothing is permanent, we become more adaptable and resilient. We no longer feel the need to force a specific result or to hold on desperately to things as they are. This perspective gives us the clarity to respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally reacting to temporary setbacks. In relationships, this acceptance encourages us to cherish the present moment without becoming attached to a particular expectation of how things should be. It reminds us that every phase, whether positive or negative, is part of a larger journey. Instead of fearing change, we learn to embrace it, knowing that growth and improvement are often born out of transition. Number 6, embrace empathy and understanding. In Stoicism, empathy and understanding are not only virtues to cultivate, but also powerful tools for fostering deeper, more meaningful relationships. When faced with a difficult moment, such as feeling overlooked or disconnected in a relationship, it's easy to become focused solely on our own feelings. However, Stoicism teaches us to broaden our perspective and consider the emotions and circumstances of others. Embracing empathy means stepping outside of our own emotional reactions and seeking to understand the other person's experience. In relationships, it's common for miscommunications or misunderstandings to occur, often leading to frustration. Instead of immediately reacting with defensiveness or anger, we can choose to respond with curiosity and compassion. By taking a moment to ask ourselves why the other person may be acting the way they are, we open ourselves up to a more empathetic approach. Perhaps they are going through something difficult or are not aware of how their actions are affecting us. By considering their perspective, we allow ourselves to respond with greater patience and understanding. Understanding, on the other hand, calls us to reflect deeply on the dynamics of the relationship and the other person's needs, desires, and struggles. It involves active listening and offering emotional support when needed, even when we are feeling hurt ourselves. Stoicism encourages us to rise above our initial emotional reactions and choose a response rooted in wisdom and compassion. By practicing empathy and understanding, we strengthen the connection with others. This approach fosters an atmosphere of mutual respect, reduces unnecessary conflict, and encourages open, honest communication. Embracing empathy helps us to see relationships not through a lens of blame or frustration, but through one of compassion, growth, and cooperation, enriching both our personal growth and the quality of our interactions. Number 7. Don't take things personally. Stoic philosophy is the idea that we should not take things personally, especially when we experience rejection or feel ignored. Often, when someone behaves in a way that hurts or disappoints us, it's easy to internalize their actions, believing that their behavior is a direct reflection of us. However, Stoicism teaches us to detach our sense of self-worth from the actions of others. When someone ignores us or acts in a way that feels hurtful, it's natural to assume that it's a personal attack or that we are unworthy. Yet, Stoics remind us that others' actions are more a reflection of their own experiences, emotions, and circumstances than a judgment of us. People's behavior is influenced by a variety of factors, such as their own struggles, fears, or misunderstandings, which often have little to do with us. By not taking things personally, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. When we internalize someone else's actions, we allow their behavior to dictate our emotional state. Instead, by choosing not to take things personally, we maintain control over our emotions and avoid allowing others to have undue power over how we feel. This doesn't mean we condone hurtful behavior, but it means we don't allow it to define us or disrupt our inner peace. Stoicism encourages us to focus on our own reactions, which are within our control. If someone's behavior is hurtful, we can choose to respond with understanding, calmness, or even distance. But we don't need to allow it to negatively affect our perception of ourselves. By cultivating the ability to detach from personal offenses, we maintain emotional resilience and protect our well-being from the volatility of others' actions. This approach helps us build a strong sense of self, rooted not in external validation but in our own character and choices. Number 8. Prioritize communication. In Stoicism, clear and thoughtful communication is seen as a powerful tool for resolving conflicts and maintaining strong relationships. When misunderstandings or tensions arise, especially when we feel ignored or misunderstood, the Stoic response is to prioritize open and honest communication, rather than letting assumptions or emotions control the situation. Communication is often the bridge that connects us to others. Without it, misunderstandings and resentment can fester, leading to unnecessary conflict. Stoicism teaches us to approach communication with calmness, clarity, and respect, ensuring that our words reflect reason rather than emotion. When facing difficulties in a relationship, we must remember that our perspective is only one part of the equation. The other person may have their own thoughts, feelings, and concerns that we are unaware of. By actively listening and expressing ourselves thoughtfully, we create an opportunity for mutual understanding and growth. Letting frustration build up and assuming the worst, Stoicism encourages us to approach communication with the goal of resolving issues, not escalating them. When we speak from a place of calm and clarity, we are more likely to be heard and to hear the other person as well. By practicing active listening, we show empathy and respect, which opens the door to constructive dialogue. Stoics believe that communication should be grounded in truth and integrity. It's not about winning an argument or manipulating the other person, but about expressing ourselves honestly and respectfully. This approach builds trust and strengthens the relationship over time. By choosing to prioritize communication, we prevent misunderstandings from growing into larger issues and create a healthier, more transparent connection with those around us. Through clear and purposeful communication, we nurture mutual respect, understanding, and harmony. Number 9. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, and it plays a vital role in relationships, especially when we feel hurt or wronged. When someone ignores or disappoints us, the natural response might be to harbor resentment, to build walls, or even to seek revenge. However, Stoicism teaches us that holding on to anger or bitterness only serves to weigh us down, preventing growth and emotional peace. Instead, the Stoic approach is to practice forgiveness, not as an act of condoning someone's hurtful behavior, but as a means of freeing ourselves from the negative emotions that hinder our well-being. Forgiveness is not about forgetting the wrongdoing or excusing harmful behavior. It is about letting go of the toxic emotions associated with it. When we hold on to resentment, we allow the actions of others to dictate our emotional state. In this way, we give away our power. Forgiveness, in a Stoic sense, is an act of reclaiming our inner peace. By releasing anger, hurt, and the desire for retaliation, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering that these negative emotions create. Forgiveness is essential for personal growth. When we forgive, we acknowledge that all people, including ourselves, are imperfect and make mistakes. We accept that others may not always act in alignment with our expectations, but that does not diminish our worth or the value of the relationship. By forgiving, we grow in empathy, resilience, and understanding, learning that we are not defined by the wrongs done to us, but by how we choose to respond to them. Practicing forgiveness also helps to break the cycle of negativity. It fosters an environment where healing, growth, and reconciliation can take place. In relationships, it clears the path for deeper connection and understanding, as we no longer carry the burden of past grievances. Instead, we move forward with clarity, compassion, and emotional freedom. Number 10. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful and transformative practice in Stoic philosophy, especially when we face difficult moments in relationships. Often, when we feel hurt or frustrated by someone's actions, such as being ignored or misunderstood, it's easy to focus on what's wrong or what we lack. However, Stoicism encourages us to shift our perspective by cultivating gratitude, even in challenging situations. Gratitude allows us to see the good in our lives, rather than getting fixated on the negative. When we choose to focus on what we appreciate, whether it's the positive qualities of the person we are in a relationship with, the lessons we've learned, or the strength we've gained from difficulties, we create a mindset that fosters resilience and peace. Rather than letting feelings of hurt or resentment dominate, gratitude helps us shift our focus to what we can be thankful for, even in the midst of hardship. This practice isn't about ignoring the difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it's about acknowledging that, even in challenging times, there are always aspects of life that deserve appreciation. It might be the patience you've developed through adversity, the support you've received from others, or the opportunity to grow as an individual. By actively focusing on these positive aspects, you cultivate a sense of abundance and peace that can help counterbalance negative emotions. Gratitude strengthens our relationships. When we express appreciation for the other person, whether it's for their kindness, their efforts, or their presence in our lives, we create a foundation of respect and mutual recognition. It fosters a sense of connection and warmth, reminding us that the relationship is more than just the difficult moments. By cultivating gratitude, we not only improve our outlook on life, but also deepen our bonds with others, even through challenging times. Applying Stoic principles to our relationships provides us with the tools to navigate challenges with wisdom, patience, and grace. By focusing on what we can control, embracing empathy, practicing forgiveness, and cultivating gratitude, we can strengthen our bonds and grow as individuals. Relationships, like life, are filled with ups and downs, but how we respond determines our peace and growth. Good luck on your journey of personal growth and relationship building. Thank you for joining me today. May you always find strength in Stoic wisdom, and may it guide you toward deeper understanding and fulfillment in all aspects of life.